Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about my joint venture out in Calgary. I was presented with the opportunity to purchase out in Calgary with Sean. Now, there's certain ways you can do JVs. Sean and his wife Danny, they have a pitch. They can do JV pitches. They have a whole binder. So if you become a sophisticated investor, you're going to want to practice your JV pitch. Like, how is somebody supposed to invest your money with you? I'm probably a rare breed. Sean was in the Army with me. I trusted him. And there might be people like this in your life too, that a handshake is good enough. He showed me the numbers and I liked what my monthly cash flow was going to be, cash on cash. And there's different ways you can structure your JV. Ideally, as the real estate investor, you don't want to hold the mortgage. You want the JV partner to hold the mortgage. I'm lucky. Sean and Danny hold this mortgage and I'm just practically a cash investor with a promissory note on the property. Now I have responsibilities and so do they. Easily said is we share good days and bad days jointly, 50-50. At the moment the deal is also that the property management is ran by them and it comes out of my annual cash flow as well. I get a whole statement from them. It's very professional. So you could run your JVs any way you'd want. This is the sophisticated way to do it. Your investors would feel a lot more comfortable when there's communications quarterly or at least annually about how the property is doing, what improvements they're going to do. Calgary was going down a bit with the oil, and at one point my JV partners asked me, like, we wanted to send the tenants a Christmas turkey. I said, go, man, if they're going to stay there, send them a whole fridge of Christmas turkeys, because they were perfect tenants, quiet, they barely wanted anything, and we were still cash flowing despite the oil turn down there. So for advice for JV partners in the future, if you see, how do I get into this? I'm seeing, we'll get into the limo tours, all these guys on the limo tours. Well, these are good guys to JV with. If you don't want to become the expert real estate investor, like to study all this and read all these books and learn the codes, you know what? Maybe your life's too busy. Leave that to us. Maybe you want to JV with us, JV with Matt. You're getting a property and Matt gets all the headaches, even though you split the cash flow at the end of the day. But he's the one taking the tenant phone calls, or at least arranging for a property manager. You become the investor and you sit on the beach and you can tell everybody how many properties you own and show it in your portfolio. Not everybody wants to be in the trenches being the landlord. Matt has one of these videos about getting the phone call about the toilet. Well, let us handle that stuff, and you guys, you just sit back and we'll make your money work for you. So I got the JV deal out in Calgary. A lot of people ask me, how is it managing a property in Calgary? And I say, I don't know. I don't even know the tenants' names, and it's awesome. I get a check in the mail and I get my annual report. That's great. That's my easiest property. The JV property is my easiest property. So I don't even have to deal with it. I could barely, if you drop me off the airport in Calgary, I don't even know where it is. I'd have to Google map it to get there. Now it's interesting, we bought in similarly to some of the strategies we're doing in London, Ontario, we bought in an area where if I tell anybody in Calgary what area it is, they cringe for a second. But we're hoping for the gentrification in that area, and then our property will appreciate due to a lot of real estate knowledge of the buses are coming there. They got light rail transit. We know what the future has. So yes, the clientele in the area may be poor at this point, but we know it. Calgary will gentrify that area. Our property value will go up, and you'll see us doing that here in London, Ontario, looking in the Old East Village a lot, because you can still get some good scores in there, and eventually that will be a high wanted commodity in London, Ontario, and all the real estate investors that bought right now in 2017 will be called geniuses in 2027, but we will say we're not geniuses, we studied this first. So similarly, there was a lot of studying going on in Calgary on where to buy, and stay within your geographical area and knowing it. So now would I do it today? Maybe not, but that's when I was more amateur investor and this came across my lap and I thought, okay, I'm gonna make money every month. Perfect. Could I have used that money? Maybe we'll refinance, I'll get that money back and I'll be able to repurchase back in Ontario in the future, but right now it is what it is. And So I'm making money for doing nothing. So then I purchased. My wife didn't want to live in my triplex anymore, and we needed to get a bigger duplex. So maybe some people have this as well. They'll have a loved one that doesn't want to live in a one bedroom.